Hello, today I'm going to be talking about Rhazin Scarhide, my legendary review of him. I'm going to be showing him in every aspect of the game. I'm going to be showing him in places he's not good, as well as places he is good. I'm going to be showing him in dungeons, clan boss, campaigns, and etc. Hopefully by the end of it, my goal is you have a full understanding of, if you acquire Scarhide, where exactly you'll be able to use him, and what he's going to be good for you in your particular place in your account. So the first thing we're going to want to do is show you what we're working with. Now I'm going to show you his total stats. I am currently using a life steal set as well as an accuracy set. I don't have a ring on him, and I have some pretty basic accessories. This gear is good, but not great, and is just kind of a standard. So you're not going to be watching particularly amazing gear, and you're not going to be watching completely trash gear either. It's going to just be average. Okay, let's talk skills. I went ahead and used all my books on him so that way we can show him at peak skill performance for the purposes of this video. What you'll notice here is that his basic attack attacks 3 times and removes random buffs from the target. This can be further increased at the percentage chance of removing the buff if you have skills on the basic. Now, having the skill up, it will increase his viability significantly in places like Magic Keep as well as Clan Boss, where removing the attack up is important if you only have one buff removal, namely him, based upon your team. For me, he is my only buff removal in my Clan Boss team, so having the basic max helped me a ton. Moving on to Sheer, this is the most important move. When fully maxed, it's a 3-turn cooldown and increases to a 100% chance of placing a 60% decrease defense and a 25 weakened debuff for 2 turns. So that is a 100% chance, meaning if you have enough accuracy, it is always going to land. Now, moving right along here to the third move, this one just increases damage and brings down the cooldown by 1. This one you can probably skip out on, although, as we all know with books, more than likely you're going to end up with a maxed either way, because that's what happened to me. Now, this is a good move, particularly in dungeons as well as arena. Now, moving on to Masteries, what you're going to notice from Masteries is I have him with Giant Slayer. This is particularly because I like to pair him with a counterattack retaliation type of team, which allows him to continually proc his last mastery here, the Giant Slayer, as well as continually remove buffs with that basic attack we talked about earlier. On the right side, I focus namely on accuracy as well as the turn meter boost, in addition of stat bonuses from your sets. And then, of course, you're going to want your Master Hexer to potentially increase the duration of like your weakened debuffs. And don't forget, Grey Hall bonuses can always help, especially accuracy when you're trying to land things. So I do recommend going in and at least getting a couple upgrades for your accuracy if you've not done that yet. Here's an example of Arena with Scarhide. I'm going to go ahead and put him in. He's going to be the third person to act. But what you'll notice here is if we get in and we can go first, you don't have to go first for him to be good, but it is particularly better if you can get him to go first because it will be more useful. And then at this point, we try to decrease accuracy with this guy. We got a couple of them, and then this guy tries to get the decrease accuracy as well. And there you go. Decreased turn meter across the board. 100% turn meter decreased on all 4 of them because of this guy. Now, obviously, this team you're looking at here is disgusting, but you don't have to have these supporting characters to make him good. That 100% turn meter decrease in and by itself is a good move. Now, we probably would have won this match anyway just because we're kind of overpowered, but the Scarhide will help you climb arena a lot if you can get a speed lead to help him go first, to then get the AoE decreased turn meter, and you can keep kind of wombo comboing it out from there. Now, if he goes second, he can still be good, but you really don't want him to get frozen or something, okay? So try to get a speed lead with a turn meter fill for arena for him. Okay, let's talk Clan Boss. Now, in Clan Boss, typically your team is going to evolve around debuffs, counterattacks, Giant Slayer procs, poisonings, HP burns, things of that nature. He fills the role of Giant Slayer proc with his 3-hit on basic, as well as a buff removal that I talked about earlier, as well as the weaken buff. And what weaken buff does is make them effectively take more damage, as well as deal less, okay? So pair that with the attack down, the weaken, you're going to be doing significantly more damage to the Clan Boss. So let me give you an example here. So we go in, got the attack down, just basic with the Scarhide, blah, 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 blah. Basic from these guys. Get your counterattack up. Okay, now here he goes. He AoEs. We got the counterattack. He goes back, and you're going to see an example here, okay? Now it's Scarhide's turn. He attacks. He removes the buff. You see here, move the attack up buff that we had, as well as procced the Giant Slayer proc. And now he's going to go, and we're going to get the weaken buff applied, which means when we attack, 82,000 proc of Giant Slayer. You see how much that goes up? 82,000 from only 50,000. I think it was 54,000 before. So that is a massive increase in damage once you can get that stack with your defense down. And he has it both in one move, which allows Tyrell or whoever your decrease attack down person is to continually reapply that attack down and not have to also apply the defense down. So I think he's extremely useful in the clan boss. I'm using him currently in my team, and I have a variety of other options I could fill the spot with. I have things like Foley. I have some other poisoners. I have Juliana, for example. But I'm currently using Scarhide. I'm giving him his try. I'll go ahead and fast forward this battle here, and you can see at the end how it ended up. So there we go. It's done. 14.69 million. I know it's just okay. It's not exactly like ridiculous or whatever, but if you look, the numbers, Scarhide actually does pretty good damage. Now, granted, he was the strong affinity during this, so that has to be put into consideration. But that being said, for somebody who provides a lot of utility, adding debuffs and removing buffs, that's a pretty good amount of damage. I think 3.5 million is not too bad for a character that fits that role, especially if it's a character that is a permanent fusion that we can pick up. So that means that if you are looking, for another clan boss character down the road, you do have this option available in Scarhide. So let's move on to other portions of the game. Okay, now in Spider, he has two real jobs. One is he has to apply the weaken down. When he applies the weaken down, then it makes people like your Code Heart or your big critters or your damage dealers, like right there, 400k. It makes them apply more damage, right? So the weaken is going to help a lot when you're trying to burst down these really high HP bosses like Spider, specifically. He also has something that's very good for Spider, which is decreased turn meter. He has a 100% turn meter depletion. So if you pair him with people like Code Heart, Queen Eva, Nethro, people, it doesn't have to be these high tier people, but people that have a turn meter decrease, even epics like Tyrell, etc. have it. You can very easily do Spider on auto because they'll go and they'll just continue to apply the turn meter down over and over again with, the various people and kind of lock them out from taking a turn. And he has that ability. He has one of the decreased turn meters. So he's very useful in the Spider. And like I said before, the weaken will apply more damage too. So I've been finding him pretty useful there. Now, he doesn't have like a basic AoE or anything. So he's not particularly great if you're trying to force down the Spider by just killing all the little guys. As you see there, he even actually ate them all, even though I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with AoEs on their team. But he only has it on the third move, the decreased turn meter. So he is much better when paired with people that are more bursty, and that is how you're getting through, or paired with people that have constant turn meter reduction, like a lore or something. That is typically where he's going to find his use. He's not like as amazing with just spam AoE clear. I've seen people force it down that way too, but that can be more difficult in the later stages. Like I'm only on stage 16 or something, but it gets to a point where the Spiders aren't really reasonably able to be AoE down as much, and it is significantly easier to burst down the main guy by applying sheer, decreasing turn meter, and having giant crits. So I think exactly like what just happened there. So I find him particularly great in the Spider dungeon, so I'm going to give him a thumbs up there as well. Now, the deal with Fire Knight is that you need people paired with a counterattack that have a pretty good amount of hits on their basic, basically. So if you look here, I have Skull Crusher paired with Tyrell, it's a double hit, Scarhide, that's a triple hit, Nethro is a triple hit, and Apothecary is a triple hit, right? And basically what Scarhide does here to be good is not only does he feel that triple hit roll in the weekend that we talked about with Spider, but in addition, he's got a AoE decreased turn meter, so it can help you out when clearing through the waves, either if you're doing a lower dungeon, like here I'm only doing 12, and it helps you with the damage just to kind of clear through them and decrease their turn meter, so you guys can all cycle through your turns once again, or in the higher stages where they actually are very, very scary and can kill some of your guys, then it's going to remove the turn meter and effectively stun them, essentially, by removing that turn meter. And then once you actually get here at the end, where you get to the Fire Knight himself, he's going to be contributing by applying the debuffs and by consistently getting that triple attack like you saw there and getting him out of his shield early. Now, here's what's going to happen. He's going to attack. Your counterattacks will all proc, 2 from Tyrell, 3 from Nethro, 3 from Apothecary, and 3 from Scarhide. And then right in the beginning, now he is 0 turn meter. His shield is gone, and we can go ahead and burn through him, and hopefully we have shear up or something like that to, get, there it is, there's shear now. So now we have weaken on as well, and we can really try to do as much damage during this time as possible. And for that reason, I find Scarhide fairly good in this dungeon. He will do decent damage against the Fire Knight. If you have people like Coldheart, again, or people to pair with him, it's once again a good way to do it. But he himself, he's not getting carried. He is a contributing member of a Fire Knight team. So I'll go ahead and let you see him clear it out here, and we'll see what we get at the end. And, well, we got a brew potion, so... Okay, now I do use Scarhide in Dragon 20. I believe he's very useful here as well. There's a couple reasons, which I'll say briefly. Horden is a primary enemy during the waves, and he gets the attack up and crit up and all that stuff. And he can one-shot one of your guys with his axe, no problem. And so having Scarhide be able to, one, decrease the turn meter of everybody and kind of keep your people alive longer, as well as mitigate the damage that would be coming in, right? And 2, being able to remove the buffs that Horden has with his basic attack really, really helps when you're running it on auto, because he will hit the Horden with the basic attack and remove the buffs. And then once you get to the dragon, it can kind of be a nail biter, as you're seeing here, but getting weaken on him will allow your procs of Giant Slayer to do enough damage that, unlucky we didn't get it there, but it allows you to do enough damage from Giant Slayer that either you can lifesteal with normal lifesteal sets, or you can do enough damage to eventually beat them, and there we go. We got ourselves a 6-star piece of gear, toxic, not something we're going to use, but he is very useful, and if you look, he did over 1 million damage. Nethro, Tyrell, and him were the 3 carries there, and I think he's extremely useful because of the turn meter down and being able to remove the buffs from Horden, so I would recommend using him in the dragon as well. I don't know if he's like triple S tier there, but he is completely usable. Now, the Ice Golem, he's okay. All right, I kind of have mixed feelings because the Ice Golem for me tends to be like a sore subject because I kind of hate this dungeon. For whatever reason, it's the one I have the most difficulty in. I build a Doom Priest just for this dungeon because it's one of the only ways I can do this without getting too angry. Now, Scarhide himself, once again, I just reiterated, weaken is always good, okay? Triple hit, removes buffs, blah, 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 blah. None of those are really kind of what matters here. What's really a big deal is being able to cleanse debuffs as well as being able to stop people from reviving. And so he doesn't have any of really those mechanics. And so that's kind of a bummer. And he kind of takes a spot from people who could have those mechanics, like Macabre or something. But that being said, it's still a boss. He still helps you get through the original rounds with the same mechanics we've been talking about this whole video, and Weaken still helps you do more damage, so he's still usable. Okay, you're going to probably start seeing a theme here. He's usable basically everywhere. That doesn't mean he's triple S tier everywhere, but he's usable everywhere. And I would say better than usable. I'd say quite good, basically everywhere. The more I go through for this review and try him more and more places, I think this character is really going to stand the test of time. I think this is a good character, and I think you can commit on this character without really feel like you're overextending resources. I dumped a lot of resources myself into this character, and I'm not regretting it. I'm not regretting it at all. I think he's quite worth it so far. Okay, I'm not really going to go over like Minotaur and Arcane Key, you know what I mean? You guys get it. He's great everywhere, okay? And in Arena, he's good as well. Clan Boss, he's good. My overall review of this character has improved just since I've started the video, because the more I think about it and the more I try him other places and the more things I realize about him. Like, for instance, I didn't even realize how good he was at, countering Horden on stage 20 of Dragon by removing the buffs until I really was paying attention. So, in my opinion, this character is great. I would recommend, there's different builds depending on what you're going to do. You're either going to want just like max speed and accuracy, or you're going to want lifesteal and accuracy, or lifesteal and speed, depending on your secondaries, all right? You want to try to break like 200 accuracy. You're probably going to want some HP. You're going to want some, defense type of primaries, percentage, not flat. And try to get his speed as high as possible. Speed's good on everybody. You don't really need to worry about attack or anything. Now, his skills, if you look at the scaling, they do scale based upon defense, and defense, okay? So for those reasons, you can get the defense percentage primaries and get more value out of him. He's almost like a Tyrell in that instance. However, his damage comes from the Giant Slayer procs and his utilities while we use him. So I don't really smash out on the defense, although feel free to if that's what you want to try to do with him. All right, guys. So my overall opinion on this character, I'm going to give him a 1 to 10. I think this character is very good. I would put it at the top tier. Whatever. I need to do a tier list at some point so I can have my own rating system. But I would give him like an 8.5 out of 10. I think the only thing that's really lacking is it's a 3-hit on basic, not 4-hit, but the hell, I'm being picky. He only has 1 AoE, so kind of meh there. But the major problem with him is the last move, which is attacks all enemy, decreases turn meter by 100%, is on a 6-turn cooldown. If that was a 4, I would give him like a 10 out of 10 because he would be amazing. But that's 6 after 3 books invested. So, and his aura, he has the aura of ally resistant in Arena, but we don't even really talk about that because you don't really use that in Arena. So let me know what you guys think of this character. That's going to be my review. 8.5 out of 10. Definitely get him. Put your stuff on him. You're not going to regret it, okay? Thanks for watching the video. I hope this was useful for you. If it was, consider subscribing because it helps me out a lot. And I love you guys all and have a great day, okay? Bye-bye.